Hi students, this is Kiran. In this seventh module of electricity and magnetism, let us have discussion about equipotential surfaces. Equipotential surfaces. Any surface on which at every point the potential is same is called equipotential surface. To understand that, let us observe the clipping carefully. There is a charge given. Let us consider once again. Consider again. Now let us observe that the first charge. There is a spherical surface. Similarly, the second charge. There is one more spherical surface. The third charge. There is another spherical surface. See, the purpose in taking three spheres is to understand if you consider any point on a sphere, all the points on a sphere are equidistant from the center. Let us suppose the radius of the first sphere is r1, the radius of the second sphere is r2, the radius of the third sphere is r3. Now, electric potential V is equals to kq by r. Electric potential V is equals to kq by r, where q is the charge given, r is the distance from the charge to the point. Now, on the first sphere, let us consider any 2 points. At that 2 points, let us say the potentials are V1 and V2. Similarly, on the second sphere also, let us consider 2 points, any 2 points, random points. Let us consider the potentials are V3 and V4. On the third sphere also, let us consider random 2 points V5 and V6 with the potentials. Now here V1 is equals to kq by R1. Similarly, V2 is equals to kq by R1. Why is this R1 again? Because from the point of V1 and from the point of V2, from the charge, the distance is R1, that is radius. V3 is equals to kq by R2. V4 is equals to kq by R2. What is R2 here? Radius of the second sphere. Radius of the second sphere. Now, V5 is equals to kq by R3. V6 is equals to kq by R3. So, by all means, what we are supposed to understand here, on the first sphere, at all points, potential is same because the radius is same, that is R1. On the second sphere, on the second spherical surface, on the second spherical surface, at every point the potential is same because the radius is R2. On the third spherical surface, at every point the potential is same because radius is being treated as R3. Now here once again, equipotential surface, a surface on which at every point the potential is same, is called equipotential surface. Now let us read the definition. Equipotential surface is a surface on which everywhere the potential is same. Now, electric dipole. What do you mean by electric dipole? Let us discuss about it. As the name implies, it is a dipole. Means that having two charges, having two opposite charges. That too, they must be equal in magnitude. Now, there is a negative charge, there is a positive charge. Equal negative and positive charges kept at small distance forms a dipole. Please remember, equal positive and negative charges, equal positive and negative charges kept at small distance form a dipole. See, there is a negative charge given, there is a positive charge given. They together will form a dipole. Yes, there is a dipole. Now, to understand this dipole, we need some derivation. Let us observe the derivation now. From negative charge to positive charge, there is a vector arised. What is that vector? Of course, that is the distance vector. There is a small distance between positive charge and negative charge. Of course, that distance is being treated as a vector. The vector direction is from negative charge to positive charge. The vector direction is from negative charge to positive charge. Please remember. Is denoted by d bar. Is denoted by d bar. Yes. There is minus q. There is plus q. And there is d bar. Of course, we can consider a midpoint for this vector. Please remember, once again, it is a note for you. Always dipole axis is. Always dipole axis is. We can call it as axis also. Always dipole axis is a vector quantity. It is directed from negative charge to positive charge. Please remember that. Yes. Dipole is a combination of two opposite charges equal in magnitude separated at a small distance d. Separated at a small distance. Here d is a vector quantity from negative to positive. Negative to positive. Now, with respect to dipole, we have a physical term called electric dipole moment. What is that? Electric dipole moment. Denoted by P bar. P bar is equals to Q times of D bar. What is Q? Charge. Irrespective of this negative charge and positive charge, the Q quantity must be positive always. Say, while considering a dipole, you will be given a positive charge as well as a negative charge. But you are supposed to take the charge of dipole as only positive charge of that quantity. See, in this dipole which we considered, there is a negative charge minus q, there is a positive charge plus q. But what do we call? The charge of dipole is plus q. The charge of dipole is plus q. The charge of dipole is always positive. Please remember that. Now, once again, electric dipole moment is P bar is equals to q times of D bar. Here, q is only positive value irrespective of the nature of the charges. Now, let us find electric potential due to a dipole. What is our purpose here? To find electric potential because of a dipole. Where? Around it, at a random point. Yes, consider a dipole. There is a dipole given to you. At a random point, what is the potential? Let us see now. Yes, as it is a dipole, there is a d vector from negative charge to positive charge. There is a midpoint also. Consider a random point. See the diagram carefully. There is a random point. So now we are going to find electric potential at that random point. Yes, there is A, there is B, there is O, there is P. But from O to P, let us consider a line. What is O here? Center of the dipole. What is P? The given point. Let us join O and P. You can denote it as R. I mean, the distance from the dipole to the point. The distance from the dipole to the point means from the center of the dipole. Now, yes, from the center of the dipole to the point, the distance is r. There is a line join. Please extend that line join. Of course, it is represented in the dotted line form. From A, drop a perpendicular line. From B, drop a perpendicular line. The foot of the perpendiculars are A dash and B dash. Now here, there is the axis of dipole, that is AB. There is a line joining the center of the dipole to required point, that is OP. Now the angle between AB vector and OP, the angle is theta. Please consider that as theta. Now, by all means, the purpose here is to find the potential at P. Now, how to find the potential? Let us join P with A and B. Let us join P with A and B. Now, in the diagram, you can observe that D is D is very smaller than R, because according to our dipole definition, a dipole is the combination of two opposite equal charges kept at small distance. That is the definition of dipole, isn't it? According to our dipole definition, D must be very small. Now here, in the construction, if D is very small, that it is R is very larger than D, gives us geometrically the property PA and PA dash, they are approximately equal, or else AP and A dash P. Let us observe in the diagram, AP and A dash P, they both are same. They both are same. Why? Because D is very smaller than R. Now, to find AP, it is enough in finding A dash P. Of course, what is A dash P now? A dash P is PO plus OA dash. What is PO here? PO is R. Now, only the thing left here is to find OA dash. To find this OA dash, one should agree that at O, the angle is theta. In the right angled triangle A dash O, at O, the angle is theta. At A dash, it is 90 degrees. Please remember that. Now, let us consider that small right angled triangle. Please see the diagram carefully. we are going to consider a small right angled triangle, that is A dash and O in the diagram. Yes, there is a right angled triangle. Let us consider that right angled triangle now. Here, yes, that is D by 2. What is that? Half of D. There is O point, there is A dash point. At O, the angle is theta. Now, what is O A dash? That is simply D by 2 cos theta, the component. D by 2 cos theta. Now A dash P is the summation of PO and O A dash. What is PO? Or O A dash is D by 2 cos theta. Now here, by all means, AP is equals to R plus D by 2 cos theta. Yes. By all means, with all these calculations and geometrical construction, we found the value of AP. What is the value of AP here? The distance between the charge and the required point. AP is equals to R plus D by 2 cos theta. AP is equals to R plus D by 2 cos theta. Similarly, here also R is very larger than D. The same logic. Please observe the diagram. BP is same as B dash P. But now, what is B dash P? That is PO minus OB dash. Here, BP is equals to R. What is R? PO minus OB dash. What is OB dash? D by 2 cos theta. So concluding, BP is equals to R minus D by 2 cos theta. But what is BP? The distance between the charge and the required point. Now, potential at P is the scalar summation of potential with respect to A and potential with respect to B. Potential at P is the scalar summation of potential with respect to A and potential with respect to B. Yes, already we know that potential of a charge q at a distance r is V is equals to kq by r. What is that? Of course, it is a formula proved in earlier modules. Hope all you know it. Potential of a charge q at a distance r is V is equals to kq by r. Now, here we are going to find the net potential at P. Now, net potential at P is the summation of potential of A and the potential of B. Here, potential of A is K minus Q. See, at the point A, what is the charge? Minus Q. K minus Q. Of course, what is the formula? KQ by R. Simply replace the values of KQ by R here. K minus Q by R plus D by 2 cos theta. What is this R plus D by 2 cos theta? That is the distance between the charge at A to the point P. That is AP distance. Now plus VB. In place of VB, that is KQ by R minus D by 2 cos theta. KQ by R minus D by 2 cos theta. Now here, of course, simplification is simple. Don't worry about it. Very simple it is. Let us observe now. V is equals to VA plus VB. That is equals to, bring KQ common. kq into, in bracket, minus 1 by r plus d by 2 cos theta plus 1 by r minus d by 2 cos theta. Now here, inside the bracket, there are two denominators, r plus d by 2 cos theta and r minus d by 2 cos theta. In any case, if the denominators are in the form of a plus b and a minus b, what is the LCM then? Simply a square minus b square, the product, is the LCM. So now v is equals to kq. The LCM is r square minus d by 2 cos theta whole square. Of course, it is in the form of a square minus b square. So in the numerator, minus of the second denominator, r minus d by 2 cos theta plus r plus d by 2 cos theta. That is equals to, after simplification, this r and r get cancelled. D by 2 cos theta, and there is one more d by 2 cos theta, gives us d cos theta in the numerator. Of course, in the denominator, there is a term r square minus d square by 4 cos square theta, isn't it? Now, here is some observation algebraically. In the entire calculation, in the entire explanation, we are in a supposition that d is very smaller than r. Of course, there is no matter of comparison in the numerator, but in the denominator, there is some comparison. There are two terms, r square and d by 4 cos square theta, isn't it? Now here, d is very smaller than r. So you can neglect that d square by 4 cos square theta. Finally, you will be getting the answer v is equals to k q d cos theta by r square. What is that? Once again, please remember it as a note. It is going to be a formula for you. Please try to learn it. V is equals to k q d cos theta by r square. But already we know that what is qd? That is electric dipole moment, denoted by P. That also can be taken as k p cos theta by r square. Kp cos theta by r square. It is a scalar quantity. Its unit is volt. Once again, for a dipole, what is potential at a random point at a distance r? Where from this r is? From the center of the dipole. That is, V is equals to kqd cos theta by r square. And kp cos theta by r square. What is P here? Electric dipole moment. P is equals to qd. Already we know that. Of course, electric potential is a scalar quantity. Its unit is volt. Yes. All the best for your preparation.